Hi everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be unboxing the Dropfleet Commander 2-player starter set. Now, just to clarify, I did purchase this retail. I am a Kickstarter backer for the Dropfleet Commander Kickstarter. I think there's 4,000 of us. We've yet to receive, well, some of us have yet to receive our Kickstarter rewards yet. So while it's hit retail now and some folks backing it are getting their rewards, I haven't gotten mine yet, and the anticipation was a little bit too much. The other thing to point out is for Kickstarter backers, you don't get the cool box, even though you do get a 2-player starter set or the equivalent equipment. You don't get a box, although in the latest update on the Kickstarter as of October 22nd, I think Hawk said that if you wanted to, they'll get you an empty box for free. So Kickstarters aren't, folks aren't left out in the cold. So anyway, this is the 2-player starter set. I'm very excited to get this. I am at heart a spaceship guy. I love space games, and since this was announced, I've been very excited. So here we have the 2-player starter. I'm going to go ahead and just cut the wrap off, and we'll take a look at what we have. Also get rid of the glare. Take a look at this box that's been causing some issues on the Kickstarter forum for Dropfleet Commander. Alright, so there's a box. Pretty cool artwork. Some Ucm and Scourge ships going at it. From what I understand, this is a composite piece of art, so there's actual models or miniatures in here as well as graphics and stuff. So very cool. Hawk Wargames always does an outstanding job in their artwork and presentation. This box looks no different. So let's check out the back side and what we get. Oh, I should also point out that this set is 100 US retail, so you might be able to find it online. I purchased this at Games U. It's actually a new game store here in the Phoenix area. It's not open yet, but I will provide the link down below for their website, and so you can check them out. They will be carrying the Dropfleet Commander line. So here we go. We've got the back of the box. The contents looks like we get Ucm and Scourge, 3 cruisers, 4 frigates of some kind, and then all the goodness that's within. So we're going to go ahead and look at the contents here. All right. So opening it up, I did notice the edges of the box are a little smashed, and I don't know, that's probably just in shipping. Nothing bad though. The structural integrity of the box is in no way compromised, but just a little bummer. Alright. So first up we have a shrink wrapped rulebook. Looks like there is maps or some other things attached there. We'll open this up in a minute. Then we have the real show, which is the plastic. So these are Scourge and Scourge Bases. So it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4 frames of Scourge. 1 set of bases for. Here you have the Hawk widgets. I learned that's the official name for these guys. You do get a cool tape measure, just like you do in a Drop Zone Commander starter set. Some starter dice. And then we have the Ucm Bundle. Again, 4 frames, just like the Scourge, plus a frame for the bases molded in black. So I imagine this is what comes in if you just buy a single, like a Ucm Fleet expansion box or a PHR. This is what you get. So I think the expansions The fleet boxes have the same thing here as the starter set. And that's it for the contents of the box, so we can set that to the side. Next up, we're going to be looking at the plastic. So this is the bundle for the UCM. It looks like it's taped. Good. Let me zoom in a little bit here so we can see some of this detail. All right, so looks like we have 1, 2, 3 of the same sprue, and I believe that sprue is the cruiser sprue, and then 1 frigate sprue, and then the bases. And let's see if we can just take a look at some of the detail in here. Even though it's white, it's kind of hard to pick it up. But you can see little guns and pods, turrets, the hull themselves. Very nice detail. This cruiser frame, each frame looks like it's a separate cruiser. Looks like it gives you lots of options. So the detail here is pretty impressive. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Very nice. And again, you get 3 of these, so you can build up 3 cruisers, and I'm sure you can do it in multiple configurations: carrier, cruiser, heavy cruiser, things like that. Very similar, dare I say, to how Battlefleet Gothic's 2-player set was. You could build pretty much any of the cruiser or battle cruiser variants in Battlefleet Gothic with the frame. And it just depended on what doodads you glued on the side, made it a carrier or a cruiser. Alright, so this is a frame for, looks like the cruiser size ship. See some of that detail there. I love these ships, these look so cool. A little deadly. Everything looks packed really well. I don't see any damage on these frames. Here's the frigates. Very cool. I like these. Look like the back of an alien. But it's just the back of an alien ship. And of course, same exact stand for the ships. 3 large, 4 small. Alright, so here is the rule book and some other goodies. We're going to go ahead and open that. So you have the rule book itself. This is a sleeve. It's to keep it protected during shipping and whatnot. And there is the rule book. Well, that cover is really cool. Core rule book. I don't know if you guys can read that, by Andy Chambers and David Lewis. So Andy Chambers, of course, from Games Workshop, Battlefleet Gothic fame, and David Lewis is the man behind the Drop Zone Commander universe. So that looks awesome. We'll get to this stuff in just a moment. Oops. Take a look at this book. It's kind of hard to do this all in frame. There we go. Alright. So gorgeous artwork. Gets you right into the Dropfleet Commander universe, which is pretty awesome. So quite a bit. I'm sure they're going over all the history for Drop Zone Commander as well. So if you don't play that game, you still know what's going on. But such great artwork. Alright, and then we have the rules actually starting on page 32. So you have like 31 pages of background and fluff, which is always pretty cool. Then we have the rules. We're not going to look at every page, but then we have it kind of color-coded over here. Rules. Now, I did hear through the rumor mill that one of the reasons why the Kickstarter has been so delayed is this book and how long it took to get it produced. But boy, this is a gorgeous manual. Missions. Advertisement for Drop Zone. That's really cool. Schematic of looks like a frigate. Very awesome. Strike craft because it's got carriers. And here are the ship stats. Very cool. Now I haven't looked at the frames, but from what I understand, the set will let you build all of the variants for like cruisers and for frigates. That looks pretty awesome. So I am so excited to start playing this thing. This thing looks amazing. Alright, so that's the really cool rulebook. We're going to have to digest that a little bit later. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got some stickers. They say look like stickers, a sticker sheet. Interesting. I don't know why there's that gap there. I guess to make your own white stickers maybe. I don't know. But it has some names already on here. So if you want your ship to be called the Grain Slayer, I guess if you really don't like grain, Torturer, Old Serpent, and Chaos could borrow some of these names. The Belligerent, the Switchblade, very cool. And these are Ucm, and it's got that right there. Excalibur, Constitution, ooh, the Soldier of Fortune. Alright, so it looks like some cool names there as well. Alright, so you got two sticker sheets. This is obviously put on the stand, those cool stands, to let you know what altitude you're at. There's a whole bunch of game rules that apply to that I will learn along with you guys. Alright, next up we have a fast play sheet for the UCM and the Scourge. So it's got stats, and it looks like the back is the same for both of these. Crippling damage table, a catastrophic damage table. So just a handy cheat sheet for the parts of the game you'll use most often. Alright, next up we've got some card templates. So I think these are for cities. So these are actually what you guys are fighting over. Debris. Now this is very thin, so it's not like let's see, it's pretty wobbly, so it's not like X-Wing cardboard or anything like that. But I'm sure that's quite playable. And I think you can replace these with resin or plastic eventually. Then we have tokens. Looks like a lot of ground tokens. Not double-sided. Again, tokens are pretty thin. Cool though. So I imagine these are attack craft. Next up we have a map. Similar to the two-player starter for Drop Zone Commander. We have 2 of these that can be put together to give you a surface for your starter fleets to battle on. I imagine people will play on much larger tables. I usually like playing on a 4x6, but we'll have to see what they recommend. So there you go, that's 1 and 2, and on the back of these you got a poster. Very nice. Alright, and then we'll put those maps to the side. We've got some Dropfleet Commander cards. These are cut them out yourself. Activation cards. Again, very thin. I think these are there's like a premium version of these. You can buy a pack of these cards. One for the UCM, one for the Scourge. Then we have, looks like the assembly guide. Those look like UCM frigates. How to build the base. That base looks a little complicated, doesn't it? How to build the UCM cruisers. Scourge frigates. And Scourge cruisers. Alright, so that's the instructions to help us build the ships. Always helpful. Then we have a scenario guide, so this is probably your basic introductory scenario for the starter. And you have a turn sequence guide. Step you through the turn. Always handy to have. And then we have a Drop Zone Commander product catalog. Very nice. And I don't know, some of my very first videos on the channel are a couple of Drop Zone Commander battle reports. I love the game. I haven't had a chance to play it recently, but I do collect UCM and Resistance. My son does Shaltari. And we have friends that you might have seen on the channel that have PHR and Scourge. Alright guys, so there you go. That's the unboxing of the Dropfleet Commander 2-player starter set. I hope you enjoyed this. You can look forward to seeing a lot more Dropfleet Commander coverage on the channel. I plan on covering it extensively, especially once my Kickstarter arrives. There's going to be a lot of goodies that aren't here in the 2-player starter that you haven't seen yet. If you guys like it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments what you think about Dropfleet Commander. What are you looking forward to? What do you think of the 2-player starter set? Thanks again, and keep on wargaming.